Hey, it's the Chief Bonding with Board Games. This will be my first solo play or using the solo rules for Twilight 2000 4th edition. Now, I am still doing the kind of campaign mode with Pancaldi from No Enemies Here and Ron Nicholson, who's living in Ohio, and we'll continue putting those episodes out. But there are solo rules in the back of the referee's manual, and I wanted to give that a try, and I'm doing a twist. I'm using a very dark character, evil character. Now, that doesn't mean every episode there'll be evil activities, but if it lends itself, it'll go that way. He's definitely narcissistic. It's all about him. Just a refresher on him. His name is Krieg. He is a former U.S. contractor. He was making pretty good money doing that, and then as the war kind of devolved, things got questionable. But in this last push of Operation Reset, he has actually found himself a little bit adrift. Now, his company was PIMGM or PMGM. There's some character creation on like a prequel of this show. But again, for those that don't know, he's an owner of PIMGM. So he's got money, he's going to have his own vehicle. You'll see pictures flying up here. It's equipped, he's starting off fairly well, but he's by himself, and he is a violent sadist. So part of his deal is highly intelligent. The empathy score in this game is high, but it's not that he's empathetic, it's just his persuasion, his command is high. I'm also going to be using 48 Laws of Power to help govern the character. So I'm going to put up on map right now, or the map right now, from where this whole campaign, solo campaign, is going to start. I'm going to point out that Niesno is the city where some units jumping off point for Operation Reset. This is also where Krieg was based. He had kind of embedded with troops, and it was definitely kind of like a green zone kind of setup, but he had particularly wanted his base of operations run out of the, and I'm not sure how to say it, Geocaching Hospital. It's a psychological hospital, has its own history. We may delve into that at some point in time. What we're going to do is Operation Reset has happened. It's been pushed back. Everything's in total chaos at this point. It's the jumping off point of every other game in Twilight 2000. Of course, we are in Poland since we're in Niesno, and that's where we'll pick it up. The first thing we're going to do, as I said I would, is part of the governing of this highly intelligent, narcissistic, and persuasive owner of a contract company is he'll be guided by one of the 48 rules for each one of my episodes. And we're going to do it randomly. So, hey Siri, pick a random number between 1 and 48.
A random number between 1 and 48 is 39.
All right, so in the front, there's a little addendum here. We'll go to Law 39, and this will be like a guiding principle for this session. 39, stir up waters to catch fish. Okay, stir up waters to catch fish. What does this mean? Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. All right, my character would definitely agree. Krieg would agree. You must always stay calm and objective, all right? But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decided advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in the vanity through which you can rattle them and hold the strings. Okay, so he will stay calm. He will try to make his enemies his objective will be to stay calm. He'll make his enemies angry and stir them up and see if they don't make mistakes. All right, I'll also be enjoying a little bit of Boona Hoppin'. All right, you may notice got a lot of whiskey behind me. There's a whole other show called Scotch Test Dummies. That's enough of that for here, but that's the set I'm sitting on, so I might as well reference some of it. Back to some of the base rules. So we're going to be starting here in a second. I will be using the Oracle. I do have cards that will lead through the encounters. I may use some of the charts here as well, but we'll be using the Oracle. I will be using more theater of the mind in this role play rather than the battle maps. I may pop some on every once in a while, but especially early on, probably not. I will not be dialing in on these tactical combats. I do a lot of tactical wargaming, and I prefer more theater of the mind with Twilight 2000, but I will be using the combat system with the dice and the ammo and the hit die, and we'll see. So it's not going to be a 100% like I'm following every rule in here, but the rules actually say you can do theater of the mind. So that's what I'm going to be doing a lot of. The scene is going to open up, so as Operation Reset, the reports are coming in on the failures and the combats, and the tac nukes are going off and things were getting destroyed. Krieg, who has a fairly good base of operations out of the psychological hospital, so he actually has his own armored vehicle, pretty well kitted out. Again, you'll see more of that. But what he's doing right now, where this starts off, is he realizes it's actually time to bug out. And before he does that, he gets several of these large, kind of like military equipment cases. They will clank down, they lock in, they seal. He's got 2 of these very big cases that have both some monetary means, both in coin, gold coin, and in local and U.S. currency. He's also got weapons in these, even some MREs in these. He's got ammunition in these, so it's not an exhaustible supply, but he's got 2 very big cases that lock in. He's by himself. They're loaded into his armored car, and he's actually, where we're going to pick up the action, he is driven out of Nizhno and is in a rural area where he is going to cache these 2 cases. Now, clearly he's keeping his vehicle be offset or set up with weapons, but he is digging his hole by himself, and he's kind of like geocaching these items so that worst case scenario, loses everything, he's at least got a place to work back to. What I'm going to start off here is while he's digging, he does have his South African R4, which is kind of a copy, or is a copy of the Galil, that he's got literally strapped on. He's digging his hole. He's got his vehicle nearby, but I wanted to open up and see if we have any kind of random encounters while he's digging. This would take him quite some time. He's going to get it down. Maybe not quite as deep as, say, a grave, 6 feet deep, nothing like that, but deep enough that nobody will notice, and he can geocache it. So let's just see what kind of random encounter. We're using the encounter cards, and so it's a 6 of spades, and it says watch your step, but this takes place on a road, and he is not. He is off-road. It does show it would occur either daylight or at night. It is daylight. I should have set up it's daylight. We have 4 shifts here, but he's in about the noon hour. Desolate place, nobody's around. He's got a shovel and he's digging. So this actually doesn't take place. It would have been a road activity. I believe it would have been some kind of IED or mine, but nothing happens. And he successfully gets his cache hidden. So he's got his cache hidden, and no problems there. So he's got it marked. He knows where it is, both map-wise, compass-wise, and GPS locator-wise, because he has one of those as well. He then gets in his vehicle. He's spent an entire shift putting this in the ground, and now he's going to spend the next shift headed back to Nisno, where he still has a few of his troops, but again, he runs contractors slash mercenaries, most of which have gone out. They were doing their own thing. But there are a few still around back at the hospital. So we're going to do another random encounter as he heads back. We'll shuffle this up. He is driving. He's by himself. You've seen the vehicle in the prequel, and I've thrown up some shots. He's got a little turret in there that he can operate manually, but not while he's driving. Actually, well, when it's fixed in a forward position, but it's not, it's something he has to stop, pull over, and manually run. So he's got to be careful when he's by himself. He is on a road. Wow. So we've got a Queen of Hearts, but it says Death from Above. So he's actually kind of far back. So this may be, it's showing a Russian like T-72 or on the cover here. All right, we've got a Queen of Hearts, Death from Above. It shows a T-72 on the cover. The whole thing here that won't quite fit with where we're at and what we're doing is that there's some kind of big camp with the T-72 and Russians and trenches and all kinds of manner things. That's not going to work where I'm at. It does have this cool thing where a jet comes over, takes out the tank, helps out the PCs, and if they do a successful recon, it's an A-10 Warthog. I like that aspect. The problem that would befall my character is he's in a pretty weird vehicle. He's in a kind of a Russian, Georgian vehicle that I've morphed because in 2000 it technically wasn't put out till 2004. So what would we do here? All right, I think what we're going to do here to reference this, which is interesting, is he gets a flyover by an A-10 who's, boy, we're far enough back. Would that A-10 even mess with him? All right, I'm going to morph this that it's not an A-10. We're going to make it an Apache. And that the Apache's moving low, and we're going to see if that Apache spots him. Now, normally, a hearts case is good for the player. So I don't want to overdo this because using the Oracle, a heart is usually something that's going to have a positive, you know, club is violence, hearts is kind of like the love aspect, which is why in this card he's getting help. So I don't want to make it terrible, but he's in a weird vehicle. So first, let's see if maybe, I don't know if he'd pick up this chopper or not, but we're going to do a recon roll. And let's see, so recon is D at D6. But his intelligence is a D12, but he does have a very high specialty under intelligence. And I don't mean like gathering intelligence. I mean he's super smart. And that's going to give him +1 in any intelligence area that I want to apply. Just a +1. So we're going to change that recon up to a D8. So we'll grab an 8. And we'll grab this D12. I first want to see if he was able to maybe hear the chopper, or spot the chopper, and maybe get his vehicle off-road. Now again, he's still in a fairly far-off spot behind enemy lines. So even if he gets spotted, I don't think he's going to get lit up immediately. We'll see what he does. Does he spot them? Ooh, I've got a 1, which would be a stress if I pushed it. But luckily I got a 6 on my D12, which means a success. So I don't have to push it, which could have put some mental strain. I would imagine a Apache hovering on you would. And he does spot it. He's going to try to get off-road and under some trees that he sees. We don't have a great driving ability by him because his agility is just a C. So we'll just be rolling this D8. Let me see what kind of maneuver him getting off road does. So we'll roll just this D8. Ooh, not good. He's got a 1. So he's not going to be able to get off the road on time. I could push it. Well, no, I can't push this one, though. Interesting. So he's not able to get off road. He spotted it. He's not able to get off road. This Apache's come over. I'm going to have him attempt to... boy, there's so many frequencies. Would he be able to raise it on a frequency? No. Theoretically, I mean, he's got a radio, but there's so many freaks you wouldn't know which one to get on. I was in the Army, so he would have no idea what frequency they're on. He does keep an American flag, a U.S. flag, inside the vehicle. He's got it inside the vehicle. I might note that he also carries a Polish flag, and he carries a German flag, and he has a Russian flag. Let me make note of that now. I just made up that. But he has nationality flags in his vehicle. And he quickly grabs, knowing that Apaches are U.S., so I guess, I don't know if the Poles had any, but I doubt it, but it should be at least NATO-wise. He's going to get out of his vehicle. He realized, hey, I can't even get off-road, and he's going to stand up with that American flag spread as far as he can and just kind of exposing himself in front of his vehicle. Making sure he is seen. Let's see. I think we'll just do a card flip, because if I get black, it's considered some type of hazard, whereas if I get red, it's a boon or it's good. So we got a spade. So not very good. I would say the Apache basically stitches a few 30 millimeter cannon rounds kind of in front of him. Doesn't light up the vehicle, but he will lay the flag down. He will then lay down on the ground and spread his arms and legs out as the Apache hovers. Flag, actually, as soon as he sets it down, he kind of goes prone and tries to hold it, but the rotor wash picks it up, and the flag kind of tumbles up and tosses a little bit in the air and crashes back down to the ground, kind of in a heap. And Krieg crawls to it where it landed and picks it back up off the ground, goes into a kneeling position. Again, the Apache's in a hover very close, and he then proceeds to properly triangularly fold the flag in the knowledge of how a U.S. flag is folded into the triangular shape. He gets it folded, tucks in the tail, puts it inside his BDUs, and then almost like Platoon, when William Dafoe is up, he just gives up. The Apache pilot, you can't see him, but the hover backs off. He rotates and takes off in the other direction. All right, I like that. Very good. Interesting. All right, let me pause. This one right there is just a short little intro. He did not follow, so in the way I'm going to give bonuses too here is if he acts within his skill sets and follows the laws here that have come out. He was not able to use the law there because that would have been him irritating them. Law 39, stir up waters and catch fish. He did stay calm. He was not able to make his enemy angry, but maybe this guy wasn't his enemy. So he kind of stayed calm. Yeah, I've got to go in and figure out some of the level ups here, but I will give him, he's going to be able to get some experience points just for staying calm under Law 39. I'm going to pause this one now, or maybe even stop this one now. I'm not how long or how sure how long I'm going to run these, but let me pause it.